Broadcasting live from the Nomad Outpost on the plain of Tarkir, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome to Tap Tap Concede. How's it going, everybody? I'm Graham, and here this week is
Cameron
and
Kathleen
and
Serge.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo.
And we're going to be talking about some future information about Fate Reforged and Dragons of Tarkir, the now named third set in the block, though everyone kind of guessed it was going to be called Dragons of Tarkir. Mm-hmm. And there's been a couple little spoilers about it, so we're pretty excited about that. So let's talk about that. But first, we're going to crack a pack. And what I have here, we're going to do a real crack a pack, but I have here, these are some conspicuously resealed boosters that we were sent by some wonderful LoadingReadyRun fans from Australia.
Suspicious.
One of whom is our executive producer from the Kickstarter. And actually they sent us, you can see behind us, the Elspeth's inflatable sword. We did not get that at PAX in North America. That's pretty sweet.
That's a PAX Australia exclusive.
So it was a Cons of Tarkir booster, which I cracked open, which I was very excited to see contained a hippo carnival. It's a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think my favorite one, which is probably special because the name is in foil, I don't really know, is Breaker the Dark Magical Warrior. Oh, no, wait, sorry, no. Nefarious Archfiend Eater of Nefariousness. So, yeah. Like, look what they had to do to the font to make that name fit on the card.
Let's see.
It would have been great if it was like the unset where it just went around the outside of the border on every side.
It does sound a lot like the Infernal Spawn of Evil.
I actually thought it might have been an unset. Like, is this normal Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't want to be insulting to Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, this is normal Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, that's kind of amazing.
I mean, we can judge them on their graphic design choices, which are poor. So, yeah, I get a Hippo Carnival, so that's fun. So there's what looks like a Japanese pack of M12 and a Gatecrash booster. Once again, what?
Breaker the Dark Magical Warrior.
Also, the Nefarious Eater of...
Nefarious.
I don't understand your game. Yu-Gi-Oh fans, I'm sorry. I don't play it.
Nefarious Archfiend, Eater of Nefariousness.
And then, yeah, tell us if Breaker the Dark Magical Warrior is anything important.
When I say conspicuously resealed, I mean like they're not as thick as normal magic packs. They have clearly visible tape across the bottom. This one's even like torn.
I would have appreciated if they had gone and like re-impact sealed it to make it...
No, this is so much better.
Oh,
this is so much
okay.
funnier. This is just like we're not even trying to hide this.
Shh.
Yeah.
Shh. Secret.
It's a secret. I'm trying to pull the tape off, and there we go. This one, the Japanese M12, has... What is this? Are these Adventure Time trading cards? Wait, there's an adventure... This is a game. There's an Adventure Time game?
Huh.
I had no idea. It is. Oh, this one's foil. Uni Knight. Oh, wait. Cornbat.
Cornbat?
It's a cornfield creature. Pay 1 action, deal 1 damage to target creature in this lane for each different landscape type you control. I understand that. It's got 2 attack and 7 shield, and I'm assuming the one in the top is a cost, and it is corn type. It is a corn creature.
That is amazing.
Cornbat's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that. That is the thing.
Wow. Eye Guy.
Eye Guy, Uni Knight.
Are they all foil?
Timmy Magic
Or just
Eyes.
a bunch of them?
Just those 3 have foil on them. While Sand Jackal is on a Nice Lands landscape, when it defeats an opposing creature, you heal 3 hit points. This all sounds very similar.
Yeah.
Well-Dressed Wolf has +1 attack while attacking a creature that is on a cornfield.
With the lane system, it kind of reminds me of...
Like Soulforge?
Soulforge, yeah. Thank you. Name escaped me for a second.
Magic Lamp, useless swamp spell. It's a useless spell. All right.
All right.
So we got that. And then I have this Gatecrash booster.
Also conspicuously resealed.
And this, what is this? Oh no, of course it is.
No!
What is it?
Of course it
Is it
is.
Pokemon cards?
No.
It's even better.
My Little Pony cards?
Yeah, you got it. My Little Pony, the trading card game.
So Cam, there's a Could you explain to me how opalescence works?
I hate
There's
you.
an MLP card called opalescence.
Wow.
Is there one in there also
When you
called
move
humility?
when you move this card to a problem, you may dismiss a resource or on an opponent's character at that problem.
Judge, no. No, please no.
Looking for trouble. Working together. There's an event called Working Together. There's a foil event called Let's Get This Party Started. Cost 1, main phase, draw 3 cards. This is Ancestral Recall. Let's get this party started, everybody.
I want to run that in my commander decks.
You should run literally this in your commander deck. Just that,
Cast
that
Ancestral.
actual card.
Judge, that appears to be a My Little Pony card. Yeah,
Shush.
I will totally allow
It
that.
says cost 1, draw 3 cards. I'm running it.
Sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble finding it because a lot of people have made card alters of My Little Pony cards.
Oh no.
Of the character of Opalescence, which is apparently a My Little Pony character.
Yeah, it's Opal the cat, apparently.
So, for instance, there's Legendary Cat Assassin Opalescence,
Oh,
which is
wow.
actually just a magic card.
I got Applejack, too.
Oh, this looks like it.
Applejack has the keyword stubborn.
All right,
Help
I think
me.
this is the real one.
Like the real, yes,
That's it.
that's the real opalescence. Not to be confused with the magic card opalescence.
All right. This has been fun and all. but
Okay,
maybe we should get to the real
let's get to
crap.
talking about some magic cards. Thank you to the Australian runners for sending us those things. That was I was not expecting the My Little Pony card game to have Ancestral Recall.
No. My Little Pony seems super OP.
Sir, do you want to roll the big D20 of fun? Let's see what
Aha!
actual magic
One time,
card we
no
get.
whammy.
11. Let's see what that is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Wow.
11.
Oh,
Zendikar.
Zendikar!
Zendikar! Yay!
Finally. Ooh, I'm
This
so
is
excited.
one of my favorite sets.
It's so good.
It's also one of my favorite sets,
Oh man,
too.
come on, Hedron Crab. I will.
Yeah.
Oh.
It will be my best day ever.
I don't know. Do I like Zendikar because I have a lot of like fond memories because it was the block that was in standard when I was
you
starting
started
to
playing?
play,
Yeah.
or because it's really good. I think both.
Both.
That's another one of my favorite cards ever.
Grazing Gladeheart.
Oh,
is
so
our first
good.
card. Really,
so
really
good. I love this set. This set got me back into Magic cards as well.
So it's a 2/2 Antelope
Oh yeah.
for 2 and a green. With landfall, which of course was the most relevant keyword in Zendikar because
Yeah.
everything dealt with land, and what landfall says is whenever this enters the battlefield, you do a thing. So in this case, whenever land enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. You may gain 2 life.
That's common. That seems really good.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, this one's fun. Ruinous Minotaur. 1 red for a 5/2. 3 mana for a 5/2. Whenever Ruinous Minotaur deals damage to an opponent, sacrifice a land.
Oh, that seems bad.
Well, it's very aggressive. You certainly get to do some damage. So, I don't know. Hey, Pillarfield Ox. The old battle cattle.
It's not interesting in this block either.
No, but it's still fine. You know what this is good at blocking? Small things.
Ruinous
Everything.
Minotaur?
You can
Everything.
trade for Minotaur, yeah.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
Hey!
Spell Pierce.
Hey, buddy.
This pack. This pack.
Everyone's favorite
pack.
Spell Pierce.
Hey, buddy.
So it's a single blue mana for an instant. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2 colorless.
Paul, up
So why is this one?
47, 67.
So why is this one so good?
Because it's really good.
It's so good.
Okay.
Gets some play in Legacy, gets lots of play in Modern.
Yeah.
Big moving part in Modern Fish. Yeah.
So how do
just-
you use Spell Pierce?
You stop combos with it.
Yeah.
Because-
You stop anything with it.
Sorry, Cam.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, like Cam was saying, it's great in the fish deck. Because all your creatures are so aggressively costed, you can easily leave 1 mana up to protect your spells.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay. Cam just caught his finger in the chair.
Yeah. Normally in those aggressive decks, you're going to win the creature matchup anyways because you're dropping threats faster than they can. So you're okay to not counter their creature spells, but if they try and cast Wrath of God or any effect that'll kill all your creatures, you're putting enough pressure on that Spell Pierce is likely to counter this spell before they have relevant enough mana to be able to deal with it. So it's a very powerful tempo play.
Sweet.
Right. So basically, they crack off some sort of board wipe at the earliest possible opportunity, and you're like,
Nope.
no ep, and they can't pay the
For
extra
a
2.
single blue mana.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Trap Finder's Trick. It's a sorcery for 1 and a blue. Target player reveals his or her hand and discards all trap cards. We were just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey, Archive Trap is legit.
Yeah, but this card is not.
Blue hand attack.
Kinda?
Is it worth a card
No.
to find out what's in their hand? The answer is no.
Teetering Peaks.
Oh, TD Peaks.
Lands that do spell things. That's what, that was another thing that happened a lot in this set. Teetering Peaks, super good. Put this on a, not put it on it, but, so, okay. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And it taps for a red. So, you have, say, a Plated Geopede.
Yep.
You play Teetering Peaks, Plated Geopede's landfall triggers. It gets +2/+2.
I think so, yeah.
And then you give it +2/+0, and then you have this 5-power first strike just trundling on
Well,
in.
the amazing thing about all the landfall stuff too is you can't counter it. It's not a spell, so it made playing control really hard. If you don't have the removal spell to kill the creature in response to landfall, you want to play a land anyway. So you get to swing for 5 without even spending any of your mana that turn. That's what made landfall so powerful.
Sweet.
Oh, but the removal was so good.
Speaking
Wow.
of which,
Wow.
literally the next card, Plated Geopede.
Oh.
It's already up on your screen. 1 and a red for a 1/1 with first strike, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get it gets +2/+2.
forgot
That
It was
is
first
just
strike,
that
too.
is such a good card.
It's really good.
That's
man.
really good.
Constructed playable.
It was.
Yeah,
That
and
card
there's
was
step
nuts.
lengths as well.
Yeah.
There was a really good red-white modern deck that had stepped links and Plated Geopede. This was before they changed the legendary rule, and it also played 4 of that white legendary land that whenever it died, you got to go find a plains. Flagstones of Torquir.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so you'd legendary rule, play a land, they would both die and get you 2 more lands. So for 1 land, you'd get 3 landfall triggers.
What
What
if you
was
need
the land called? Sorry.
Flagstones of
Flagstones.
Trocaire. It was from Future Sight.
What if you need a specific land? Well, you can use the expedition map and go look. So this whole set, by the way, was designed as like adventure land. It was designed as Dungeons and Dragons, actually, kind of, right?
Really?
Well, because there's traps and there's quests,
No kidding,
and
right.
it's all about exploring dungeons and stuff like that. And anyway, the expedition map, it's an artifact for a single colorless mana, and for 2 and tap and sacrifice it, you get to search your library for a land, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. It's not outstanding, but it's pretty sweet. What I thought this was for a second was actually a card from, I think it's World Wake, which is the Walking Atlas, which is a creature that lets you put a land in. You tap it to put a land into play, meaning you can put a land from your hand into play at instant speed. I was watching the most recent time this came back to Magic Online, this format. I was watching Simon Gertzen draft it because he had a GP, if not winning, at least top 8ing deck at the time that used Walking Atlas to abuse landfall triggers on your opponent's turn with the Walking Atlas, and people were like, "Walking Atlas? That card is stupid." And he's like,
Have you read it?
Have you? Yeah, exactly. And it turns out very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. They declare attacks, you tap Walking Atlas, you play a land, your Plated Geopede is a 3/3 first strike. So,
Solid aggressive card, the Welkin Turn. It's shown up recently in core sets. It's been functionally reprinted as Vaporkin in Theros. Really, really good card here. The old Welkin Turn.
Welcome turn is always a welcome turn of events for me in a draft.
I like casting it and referring to it as the 10-turn clock.
Whoa. All right. That's enough puns.
All right. Narrow Escape. It's 2 and a white instant. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. You gain 4 life. This is white.
Yeah.
White bounce. And you gain life. It's kind of interesting. It has to be a permanent you control, but you're saving something. Bonus life also. It seems fine. It's not...
I suppose at worst
It
you
hits-
could bounce a land and get another landfall trigger on the following turn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw it played.
No.
But there you go.
I mean,
it
doesn't
it
seem
does a
good.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Trapmaker's Snare.
I love this set so much.
1 in a blue for an instant. Search your library for a trap card, reveal it and put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Now, why do you like Trapmaker's Snare?
It's a 5th archive trap in my mill deck.
Oh, okay. And Archive Trap, again, remind me.
Archive
Because it's
Trap-
a mythic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mythic rare. It's if an opponent has searched their library this turn, you may cast it for free. Target player mills 13 cards.
13 cards.
13 cards. So the nice thing about the trap conditions is you can do it after the fact. So even if the trap isn't in your hand, you can hold that up for 2 mana. They snap. In response, you go find the appropriate trap you need.
But
or if any condition is met, you find it.
By snapping, Surge means using a fetch
Well,
land.
pardon me, right? Local Victoria slang.
Don't know why we do that, but there you go. Sweet. Cobra Trap. This one's sweet. I love Cobra Trap. 4 green. Put 4 1/1 green snake creature tokens onto the battlefield. So you get 4 1/1s at instant speed for 6 mana. That's not outstanding, but it's pretty strong, especially in limited. But if a non-creature permanent under your control was destroyed this turn by a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may pay a single green. So if they kill any of your lands, artifacts, or enchantments, you can pay 1 green mana and go, oh, it was full of snakes. It's very Indiana Jones, that one. I like that a lot. Hellfire Mongrel. It's a 2/2 for 3, specifically 2 in a red. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 2 or fewer cards in hand, Hellfire Mongrel deals 2 damage to him or her. Now, this was relevant because Zendikar Limited was a very fast format where you would just be like, get all the 2-drops, dump your hand, and slam. So chances are your opponent's going to have 2 or fewer cards left. And this is in their upkeep, so it's before their draw step. So that's kind of cool. I mean, he's not amazing, but I think it's a neat effect.
I feel like he is a decent card that has a little bit of payoff later in the game.
We also have a... I'm saving the rare. I don't know what it is yet. We also have a beast token and a full art Zendikar forest.
Oh.
Man, they were
The
so
Vincent
pretty.
Price Forest.
All right,
good.
one time, what do we call it? Fetch land? Is that what the world
Yeah.
calls them? One time
Yeah.
fetch land.
Come on, Tarn.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
it's so cool.
Sad sack. It's Sadistic Sacrament. It is a sorcery for black. Search target player's library for up to 3 cards, exile them, and then that player shuffles his or her library. With a kicker of 7 colorless. If it was kicked, instead, search that player's library for up to 15 cards, exile them, and that player shuffles their library.
I mean, it's great in a commander deck.
You just get to dismantle someone's deck until there is nothing left of value.
I just want to talk about how amazingly cool the Zendikar vampires looked.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the character design in them is
It's
really
very similar
good.
to art that would show up later on Pithing Needle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Maybe
that
it's-
the pithing needle?
Is it holding the pithing needle?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he's about to get
Can,
pithed.
can you pull up pithing needle, Paul,
Or
really
to stab
quick?
a pithing needle into somebody's spine?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Oh, I think it realistically could be.
yeah. Well, he is about to get pithed.
Yeah, kind of.
They're not quite the same.
Well,
but
no, I mean, not literally the same.
But it's the same act.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the times to fight combo in Standard, they include these hate cards. They had Slaughter Games in RTR. They've had Extirpate in, I think that was in Future Sight. There was Surgical Extraction in the Phyrexian block.
Like, honestly, unkicked, that could still wreck someone's deck.
I mean, unkicked,
Like-
that wrecks their draft.
If you know, in draft, that's
Yeah.
brutal. But
Yeah.
in constructed, if you know that, like, if they've already used one of the 4 of only spell that stops your deck, you just be like, well,
Or you just take someone's, like, combo payloads.
Yeah.
Right?
So what's the pick here?
for limited,
Yeah.
GP,
Yeah.
GP'd.
GP'd. That's
Yep.
my pick, too.
absolutely GP.
I love this set so much.
Oh, I
Just-
wanted to draft this set.
Well, just looking at all these cards, there's so many that are playable in even Highlander. I mean, Expedition Map is a 4 of in Urzatron and Modern. That card's phenomenal. Welkin Turn even sees Highlander play in like a blue Flyers deck, you know, sort of like the fish archetype that Cam was talking about. Spell Pierce sees play in everything. That card's phenomenal. Like,
It's
what
a really
what
good
great
card.
set.
Yeah.
I love this set. Oh man, I really want to draft this now because when of course I started playing Magic, I was not very good at drafting, but I'm a lot better at drafting now.
Next time it comes back on Magic Online, we should do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Boo. All right, so that was fun.
Speaking of fun drafting, we've been enjoying Cons of Tarkir.
A lot.
But there's some news about Khan's block that came up at
PAX Aus.
PAX Australia at the Magic panel that we're super into. First, I guess let's talk about the cards from the set. There's 2 spoilers for Fate Reforged, which is the second set of the block. Let's take a look at Crux of Fate.
Yeah.
First of all.
We apologize for the image quality
Actually,
on these
no,
cards.
I'm sorry. Let's look at the other one first. Sorry, Paul. Let's look at, is it Yasova Dragonclaw? What's her name? That's correct? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this is Yasova Dragonclaw. So Fate Reforged is set hundreds of years, possibly a full 1,000, I'm not entirely sure. Hundreds of years
In
before...
the past.
In the past. Before Khans of Tarkir. So Yasova here is an ancestor of Surak Dragonclaw, and she's the leader of the Temur clan back in the day, is what we are led to believe. She's a legendary creature, but you see that they are doing the Khans themselves a little differently this time. For commander purposes, they still have a Temur color identity, but instead of being a gold card herself, she's green with an activated ability that is red and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen these yet, Serge?
I've seen these. I just didn't
Okay.
follow a lot of the spoiler stuff behind it.
So she has the same stats as an Alpine Grizzly, actually. She's a 4/2 for 2 colorless and a green. So Alpine Grizzly's always been fine, so it's like, all right, sure.
Triggers ferocious.
Yeah. However, she has the advantage over the Alpine Grizzly in that she has trample, which the Grizzly Bear does not. And then this crazy activated ability. I'm doing this from memory, so correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. At the beginning of combat...
I can just read it from here.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1, and then it's blue-red split mana, so that's either 1 blue-blue, 1 red-red, or 1 blue and a red.
That's hybrid mana.
Hybrid mana. If you do, gain control of target creature your opponent controls with power less than Yasova Dragonclaw's power until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn.
So you get to...
So she's active treason on a stick?
Repeatable active treason every turn. The only limiting factor is that their power has to be... Is it equal or less?
Less.
It has to be 3, 2, or 1. But
if you have 6
pre-combat...
mana, you can steal 2 creatures.
Yes, you can.
So...
Can you use it twice?
Yeah.
Is there any...
Unless there's a tap ability or says you only once, you can just keep paying if you got the resources.
Yeah, it says you may pay 1 hybrid red-blue, hybrid red-blue. If you do, gain control of target creature and opponent controls with power less than.
Wait, does it...
No, but it says
at
at the beginning. It says at the beginning of your combat step, right?
Oh, that might imply
So-
only the one.
That
Yeah.
means it only would trigger one time, yeah.
Yeah. So
Really?
it's
Still-
like it would come up with like in Miko, it would say, "Do you want to use this ability? Yes. If so, pay this."
Right,
and you
right,
get to
right.
use it.
Yeah.
We got
But,
excited because we weren't holding the
How
card.
could I not, like, okay, just out of curiosity, because it doesn't say you may only use this once per turn.
Because it only triggers once.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ability only.
Happens once.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
you don't think of it as a cost on the card as opposed to a triggered ability that to resolve you have to pay a cost.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
because it's at the beginning of combat, meaning that's when you have the opportunity to do it, and so there's only one ability that is happening at that point, so you can't do it multiple times. But what you can do
Nice to have a judge on these podcasts.
is pre-combat, you can use a trick on Yasova, like Awaken the Bear, for flavorful
make it
examples.
bigger.
Make her a 7 math 5, a 7/5 with trample, and then you can take any creature with power 6 or less from your opponent. That seems good. Anyway, she seems really, really sweet. Paul's got something.
I just been looking through some of the people talking about this corner case scenario. Cards that say you get an additional combat step this turn would allow you to steal 2 cards.
Nice.
It would trigger all those
You'd
times.
you'd get 1 in the first one, and then a second one in the second combat step.
Yeah.
And you would keep the first one because you get it
Yes.
till end of turn.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
So
if you're getting additional combat steps, you're killing them a lot anyway. So
Yeah.
put that in your commander deck and build around
with
it.
World at War or something.
Ugh.
All we
Or-
need now is a good sack outlet.
Wasn't
in
it
these
like
colors?
Yes.
Gisela or something too? One of those angels that attack
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
untap it and swing again.
Yep.
That's, wow.
So Yasova seems sweet, and I like
strong.
that they've kept they're doing the cons differently because it's back in time, and it's the color identity is still the same. She's still teamer, but she's like their base. The clans are based in one color, right? Like teamer's definitely been like the green based color, and so she's green with red and blue.
All right, so here's
because that is very red and blue kind of thing, like the
Well, yeah, I mean, like you have that effect, active treason and shackles.
Yeah.
Right, would be the blue equivalent.
Yeah, so it's like active treason does the stealing stuff, and not that blue doesn't also steal stuff, but the caring about the power of the creature is more in sort of blue's realm, so that's really neat.
Yeah, they had mind control unless it's 2 or less, whatever that 3 mana enchantment was in standard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. So if teamer,
Domestication. Yeah.
if teamer's the green clan, Obzan is the white clan.
Yeah.
Saltai is the black clan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mardu is the red clan. Jessica is the blue clan.
I guess. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's
I didn't really think
one
about
for
it
each
either.
color.
But yeah,
Yeah, that.
Abzan is base white, huh?
Yeah.
I would it would have to be.
Wow.
Well, they're the ones that have to do with civilization and community.
And plus, they're the weenie.
Yeah.
Like,
They got all the little token generators
at the,
and stuff.
Right.
At the magic panel, the world
At PAX
building
Prime.
panel at PAX Prime, they talked about how each of the clans was based around a single color with an allied color supporting it and a dissonance from the enemy color. So you have like Abzan's community is supported by like its relationship with nature in green, but they also have the dissonance of Black's death, where they worship their ancestors, and their ancestors are bound into the trees that support them.
Super cool.
Right?
The flavor of each clan is real nice.
very strong.
Paul, what's up?
Oh, I guess just the one other thing as a reminder for commander purposes, this does require you to have all 3 colors.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mentioned at the beginning. The color
yeah,
identity
so-
is still all 3.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, then, if she is your commander, you can't use her activated ability.
No,
Is that correct?
no,
No.
you can.
Oh, weird.
Because-
right.
Is it
No, because the color identity, her color identity is still teamer because she's got all 3 things.
Really?
All 3 symbols in the card. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it had to be in the casting cost.
Yeah, I
I
thought it
wasn't
had to be in
familiar with
casting
that.
cost.
No, the color identity. That's what the weird commander term is. Refers to like
Everything that shows
everything
up
on the
on it.
card.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Notably, the only thing that might not be initially apparent is any Orzhov cards with extort. Because
Right.
the black-white hybrid mana symbol on extort cards is in the reminder text. It is not technically in the rule text.
I remember that. Yeah.
So if you have a white card like the Syndic of Tithes, his color identity is white, even though he has the hybrid mana symbol on him, because the hybrid mana is in the reminder text for extort.
So you can play him in a mono white commander deck.
Yeah. Or a white-red commander deck, for example. Yeah, it's a little... That's apart from that strange vagary of this, which has been confirmed by everybody at Wizards and the Commander Rules Committee, all the mana symbols on the card make up the card's color identity.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Okay, what's the next spoiler, Paul?
Crux of...
Ooh.
coughing, pardon me. Crux of Fate.
All right, I can read this one.
Yeah, this
as well.
is pretty exciting.
So this is a sorcery for 3 and a black and a black. So 5 CMC overall. And it is a rare. And it says, choose one. Destroy all dragon creatures. Oh, okay. Destroy all non-dragon creatures. Go on.
Well, I know what happened to all the dragons.
Yeah,
They just
so
cast this
we
over
get to
and
go
over.
back. So now we get to go back to the Crux of Fate and find out what happens when we pick the other mode.
Yeah.
And all the non-dragon creatures get destroyed. So, flavor-wise, that's super awesome. Mechanics-wise, are you ever really using destroy all dragon creatures? Probably not. That's not going to come up super often.
There might be Dragon King or Changelings. We don't know what's in the set yet.
That's
They could
true.
be
I'm
more
not talking
relevant,
about.
yeah.
I mean, we know nothing about Fate Reforged, so I'm not speculating on it because I'm assuming there's dragons in Fate Reforged. I'm
Well, I
going
mean-
out on a limb.
At worst, what do you pay in this set for hard removal?
Exactly.
Right.
Like
So
6.
So if somebody just has one dragon in play,
Yeah.
they saved a mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel that dragons will be good in this set. Now, I have to tell you guys about a funny story about discussing this card.
Yeah.
And
We're walking back from filming a crap shot.
yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand this thing. Like, what the F is going on here? Destroy it. Like, I'm talking about it from a flavor point of view. I understand mechanically how the card works. I'm like, destroy all dragon creatures, destroy all non-dragon creatures. There's no, like, freaking dragon creatures. I mean, unless, like, we're talking about, like, going back in time and changing the fate so it's like, so Ugin doesn't die and Nicol Bolas does, or, like, runs away or something like that. How does this even possibly make sense? And then Cam says to me very calmly,
the set is called Fate Reforged.
oh, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's like, wait, we were at that panel. I knew that.
I'm dumb. So Crux of Fate. This is the key moment, and I think you can see Bolas and Ugin on the card art.
So what I was saying is, outside of this limited environment, or even this constructed environment, because we don't know how that's going to shape up, in most situations, this is another black wrath, which it doesn't typically get. Like,
No.
like there's damnation, but typically black gets wraths like mutilate, or
minus effects.
yeah, it gets
instead of
gets effects that debuff. Whereas this, in most situations, because dragons are not a supremely common creature type, this will just be destroy all creatures for 5 mana in black, which is pretty cool.
Well, they always seem in every set to print a couple of really big, cool dragons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like,
yeah, what?
well, I mean, the grid that must be obeyed. That is it. Marrow talks about.
I think
quite
so.
Frequently, where you have to have a dragon.
You gotta have a dragon
because people want dragons.
people love dragons.
And I was
They're
really
sweet.
surprised when cons came out that they very deliberately flavor-wise said no dragons. And one of my favorite flavor things about cons, as flavorful as it is, but when they reprinted the 5 fetch lands, each one has this lovely one-line, like, I don't know if a poem or anecdote about the resting place, about the remains of dragons, and it's like, that's really cool.
Like, where dragons once soared, their bones now lie.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
So I feel that basically like the plot of the block is because the last block is Dragons of Tarkir. So basically, I think what happens is somehow magic. I mean, it could happen. Sarkhan.
Wizards
Sure,
did it.
some kind of magic thing.
What do you think we're
Yeah.
doing here, Kathleen? If you're not going to take this seriously.
That's not realistic.
Sarkhan is able to go back in time.
Through hard science and research,
Yeah.
Sarkhan goes back in time
Saves, because obviously it's pretty obvious here. At
in a
least I think.
device created by men.
Saves Ugin from Nicol Bolas. In fact, there is one of the activities that you'll do. The Fate Reforged pre-release is heal Ugin.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get to, going from Crux of Fate, is that if you succeed the heal Ugin pre-release thing, then you get given an Ugin's Fate booster pack.
Ooh.
Now, we don't really know what the heal Ugin event is. Like, it's a similar sort of idea to facing the Hydra or the Minotaur Horde or fighting Xenagos. Those were Horde decks. We have no idea what this is, but it'll be a thing where at the pre-release you can in some way interact with another deck of Magic cards, I believe, and heal Ugin. Like, we actually have no idea what it is. Maybe they said something at the PAX Australia panel. We personally have no idea what it is because the panel only went online very, very recently. So, but if you succeed, you get these Ugin's Fate boosters, which have 4 cards, 1 token, which I don't know that they said what it is or not yet. 1 land.
Mini Ugin.
Yeah, 1 land, and the land is it's an alternate art land from Khans of Tarkir, but from the past.
Ooh.
And 2 cards that are alternate art from Khans. There's apparently 40 options that it could be.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I think they said there was a mythic in there as well. And they spoiled some of them at the PAX panel. And we have the images here. They're real bad because they're just taken from someone's phone and posted to the Magic subreddit. But is that the Briber's Purse, Paul? Okay, so this is Briber's Purse as it appears in Khans of Tarkir. And you see there's sort of like it's like a lizardy hand.
It's like a Naga hand, I think.
It's a Naga.
Yeah, it's a Naga hand bribing a human hand or whatever. And then the alternate art one is this human hand bribing clearly a dragon hand.
So that's exciting.
Oh, and the flavor text is
Yeah,
different.
the flavor text, the bigger the hand, the higher the price.
Oh, very cool.
And dragons, they got them big hands.
Yeah.
They do love hordes.
My favorite, I think, of the few that they spoiled is Smite the Monstrous.
Yeah.
Which in Cons of Tarkir, you'll remember, is a Loxodon, one of the mammoth people,
Yeah, he's
being,
like, "Ugh."
being just like wrecked by just a ray of light. Paul's gonna bring that up in just a second. He's sort of doing like a stuntman thing, being pulled back on a cable. There we go. And then the Ugin's Fate one is exactly the same, except now it's a dragon. And what's the flavor text on this one?
This one is, the changing of a single moment in Tarkir's past altered its future, rewriting its history. So,
which is a really
pretty explicit there.
awkward sentence.
That is actually...
It's like
It's not the-
active voice, please.
It's actually not the most amazing flavor text.
Well, because
they've
they
ever
never want to say, like, you change stuff.
Well, you
Yeah.
could just strike the leading the and then the of.
So change it to changing a moment in Tarkir's
Changing a
past.
single moment in Tarkir's past altered its future.
Yeah, that's actually way better.
Yeah.
Hey, Wizards of the Coast. Cam and I are available
Hire
Yeah.
these people.
for contract basis.
And then they spoiled a rare as well, which is the Ghostfire Blade, which looks fairly similar,
So Paul's going to bring up the original.
except that
If you're just listening to this podcast and not watching, play along at home with your phone.
yeah, sorry. The Ghostfire Blade is currently a righty.
Yeah. So what's the flavor text on it right now, Paul?
It is currently, if you fear, was it? Okay. If you fear the dragon's fire, you are unworthy to wield it.
Okay.
And then the
The
new
new
art,
one.
which throw it up on the screen there, which is now a lefty, so Cam can use the knife.
Yay!
If you fear the dragon's fire, you are on. It's the same
it's
thing.
the same
Oh,
flavor text.
damn it.
Is there a dragon in the background? Or is it just different?
It's pointy.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, it's not snowing.
Oh, interesting.
It's still pointy in the background of the original, but there's snow everywhere.
Huh.
interesting. Climate change. So anyhow,
because of dragons.
fire.
All the fire.
Well, I mean, like, just going back earlier to Crux of Fate, I mean, there is a precedent for printing dragons at common and uncommon.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, half the Jund cards were dragons, weren't they?
Well, there's a
there's
classic
also, like-
core set staple of
Yeah,
like a
Dragon Ball.
fire-breathing
Yeah.
dragon, a bunch of stuff like that, like a 1/3 for 3 that fire breathes.
Yeah.
And so
Babby.
they'll have to sort of, I think, because they've done like dragon, quote unquote, dragon sets before, and it's always been like kind of not, they haven't really been able to deliver on that to the satisfaction of most people, because they're you're very limited by what a dragon is.
Yeah.
So I think I'm hoping that in this case they'll be able to find out, or they'll be able to find ways to have like this big green dragon that doesn't fly. Like he's like
Oh,
a
land dragon, rock dragon, water dragon.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
and they still have the dragon type, but maybe they don't all have flying. They're not all red. They don't all have haste and fire breathing.
You saw that on the art. There was a Mardu. There's a Mardu attacking Abzan. There was some art that went out on the wizard site,
Yeah,
and then
from-
there's. Sorry, Cam.
Yeah, that's from Dragons of Tarkir.
Yeah, and then you can see on that art, you can see one, the Mardu banner is different, like it's not tattered. And two, the dragon that the Mardu have on their side has 4 wings and feathers.
Oh, like a coatl.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
And it's also breathing lightning.
yeah, so there's
Awesome.
definitely
breathing lightning.
Well, there's so much lore and mythology about different kinds of dragons from different parts of the world that
So-
it's not always sort of that Western, very high fantasy idea of what a dragon is.
Yeah. Well,
Tarkir is basically going to become New Zealand, right? Where like every ecological niche is going to be filled with dragons as opposed to other animals.
yeah.
It'll be great.
also, when did the Abzan form? Because they talk in their lore quite a bit about like how they they were wandering the desert and had to be saved by the Einok, who told them how to survive and build cities in the desert.
That's a good question. I don't know. Presumably they're around in
Yeah.
Fate
Like,
Reforged.
one of the reasons that they told us that only Khans of Tarkir would be a wedge-themed block might be because the wedge identities aren't well established yet. Because those societies haven't really formed.
So, if I can go big picture on this for a moment. Doug Baer, who's one of the lead sort of story and flavor people at Wizards of the Coast, has said that they're going to be changing sort of how they present the story of Magic. And part of that is they're not doing the little like web books anymore. Everything's going to be on the website. They're going to be doing more of the like the Uncharted Realms articles and stuff like that.
Telling
But-
more through the cards.
yeah, but he was also indicating that there would be more flow from set to set, story-wise, or
Okay.
and so I'm curious. This is a complete guess, but this could serve as kind of a reboot of certain things. Like if you're going back in time 1,000 years and changing a fight between Ugin and Bolas, and then coming back forward. Sure, it's going to change Tarkir. Now there's dragons again. But Bolas got up to all manner of filth across the multiverse.
Yeah.
Maybe this has
Yeah, well, 'cause
changes in other planes.
You have to remember, it was Bolas. Sorry, I've checked. I've read up on my lore. I'm feeling very Vorthosy. It was Bolas who tricked those other three planeswalkers into releasing the Eldrazi.
Exactly.
Because he was mad at the events of the Mending
was
because he
all
wanted
petulant.
to be immortal, like functionally immortal again. And it was Bolas who was causing all of that shit on, causing a lot of shit in Return to Ravnica. Bolas was sort of pulling the strings
Was
a
he?
little bit. Oh no, maybe not. I
No,
thought he
not-
was like
not-
casually involved.
Not Return to Ravnica.
Yeah, because I remember when the trailer for Return to Ravnica came out,
Yep.
Yeah.
Involving Kamigawa.
when Ravnica came out and that trailer came out, and when Jace is like, I cannot see who is mending things, and everyone is like, is it Nicol Bolas? And at the party, they were like, no, it's not Nicol Bolas. For once, it's not Nicol Bolas.
It's another jerky dragon. It's Niv Mizzet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Niv Mizzet, CRTR guy. I have a couple questions actually about Nicol Bolas himself. Because
Yeah.
Nicol Bolas has traditionally been Grixis. And what's his role going to be in this set?
No idea.
Will he show up? In
well, he's
Fate
he's
Reforged?
on Crux of Fate.
Yeah,
He's
as-
on the card.
As a Fate thing. So it'd be really neat if he showed up maybe as the Battle of the Horde thing. It might be Nicol Bolas. And the other thing is, do we know anything about Ugin's character? Because all I know of him is from the Eldrazi block, where the Eye of Ugin lets you find this Eldrazi. Is he related to them? Like,
So
No, well,
oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Okay, so he's the spirit dragon. He's his color identity is colorless, like in like mechanical terms. You remember from Future Sight Ghostfire,
yeah,
right? That's like Ugin breathes Ghostfire,
Oh, okay, cool.
and it talks about like that's the first time he's mentioned is on the flavor the flavor for Ghostfire way back from Future Sight, and it's talking about Ugin's flame or whatever. So Ugin and Sorin and Nahiri, the Lithomancer from the Commander 2014 set, they're the three planeswalkers that sealed the Eldrazi in Zendikar. They'd just finished ravaging another plane.
Yeah,
but I can't remember-
unnamed, I think.
I can't remember which plane. And Ugin and Sorin basically had to convince Nahiri, who's from Zendikar, this is going to be a massive risk, but we need to lure them somewhere and trap them forever. And basically, you have to offer up your plane.
Yeah, the reason was not because we're jerks. It's because Zendikar was huge and sparsely populated and full of incredibly vicious things that could withstand the Eldrazi.
Yeah.
Zendikar is basically Snorsh. If you're a fan of our live streams,
So they did that, and they trapped the Eldrazi there. And then after that happened,
like 6,000 years later or something like that, Nicol Bolas tricks Nissa and who
Well,
are the
it's
other-
Chandra.
Chandra,
Chandra.
Jace, and Ramaz actually are
Yeah.
the three planeswalkers that
Was
Ramaz
it?
has
I
never
thought-
been seen.
No, Sarkhan's is like a little toady at that block.
Ramaz is the one he showed up in Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
The one,
thought,
the one that was all about Chandra.
I thought
Right.
Nissa was the one who got tricked into releasing
No,
the
Nissa's from Zendikar, but she wasn't actually involved in the Eldrazi breaking.
Oh, I thought she was.
No. Anyway, but Ugin had a scrap with Nicol Bolas on Tarkir
And died.
and that's how he died. And there's the Tomb of the Spirit Dragon,
And
with
that's
the
why-
big rib cage. And all
Yeah,
that.
and that's why what's his face? Soren has come back to Tarkir and he's like, "Oh, bollocks."
Yeah.
And he finds
So Sarkhan is trying to they're all looking for Ugin basically for different reasons, but Soren and Sarkhan are both looking for Ugin. Soren wants to, because the Eldrazi got out again, so he's like, Ugin, come on, we gotta. Oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. Oh.
Is Sarkhan mad at this point? Like, is he already crazy or?
oh,
Well,
he's super
Sarkhan-
crazy.
He got better.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarkhan has plus abilities again. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, he was.
He's figured his shit out.
So here is my prediction for Dragons of Tarkir. That the leader of the Jeskai clan is not Narset. It is some sort of probably Asian-inspired, like long, narrow, kind of like luck dragon. Because I think that'll be the blue dragon identity. Is something that's very like
the
Chinese.
Man,
or,
the luck dragons. It looks so cool.
What if we get our Kamigawa block dragons back, like Kakusho and stuff like that? Probably not, because you're crossing sets. Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but that.
Yeah, but
jumped
I
out.
think because like the Jeskai clan are the most sort of influenced by like sort of like Chinese kung fu culture, that they get like a Chinese style dragon or something like that, and that dragon of indeterminate gender is the leader of the Jeskai now, and Narset is a planeswalker.
It's been heavily hinted that
That's-
Narset's going to become a planeswalker. Like
And-
there's references in various lore articles about like some sort of power within her that could, that could cross the multiverse, but she just needs to. They're basically saying she can get a planeswalker spark. She just has to have the thing that like kicks it out of you.
well, and I feel that Narset is too busy leading the Jeskai.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like that idea that she would have had her Planeswalker spark ignite at this point if she hadn't been like leading the Jeskai.
But maybe with dragons on Tarkir, there could be a wise dragon leading the Jeskai, and she went off on a great journey and discovered her spark. And then would she still be a 3-color creature?
And then we'll have a Planeswalker who can brainstorm again.
That'd be fun.
They've
Probably
had 3-color.
not.
I mean, they've had 3-color planeswalkers. Nicol Bolas, for example.
They've had 3-color planeswalker.
Yeah.
Isn't he the only one?
What about Big Garrick? Oh no, he's just 7, but he's green-black.
I think Bolus is the only
Is the only
tri-colored
3-color
walker.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyhow, that's some fun things. But here's another interesting thing about Dragons of Tarkir. Guess when Dragons of Tarkir comes out?
Oh yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So Fate Reforged comes out January 23rd,
Woo!
and then
Dragons of Tarkir comes out March 27th. And you might
2 months.
And you might be thinking, boy, I could have sworn those sets came out in May. And you would be right to suddenly adopt a Midwestern accent.
For no discernible reason.
But the other thing you'd be right about is that is only 2 months
That's
of Fate Reforged.
It's really
Yeah.
curious.
Now, this is also going to be the last core set. So maybe they have something special planned.
That's true.
Well, they're going into that 2-set rotation. So maybe.
But that doesn't start until September.
Well, you got me.
We'll see.
Ha!
Wizards
Logic.
has something planned.
That's what made sense in my mind, and I was like, oh, right, that.
Coming with all these facts. Well, presumably they have the core set and then some other product coming
Modern Masters 2?
out. Ooh, that'd be fun.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, what we didn't get reprinted
Wait for it.
in. Well, what we did get in the set was a Black Wrath. That
That's
wasn't
true.
Damnation.
That's true.
And yeah, so also the Commander decks have been spoiled, and we didn't get a Damnation reprint there.
That's
either.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't in from the Vault of
Annihilation.
Annihilation. And there was that little comment on the article. It's like, sometimes you want to put in cards, but you can't because they're being used for other things. And I'm like, where's my Damnation? Because that card's like $40.
Where's my damnation?
It's just going to be from the Vault Damnation. It's just going to be 15 copies of Damnation.
Yeah.
It's going to
Done.
be beautiful. It's
And
gonna,
Not even alternate art. The same art.
Yeah.
Every single one.
And also,
like,
if we don't get the
yeah.
enemy colored snaps in Dragons, and I think it would be like,
It makes sense.
I mean, we might not get it for power reasons, but I think it would be like a nice flavor symmetry from like the I don't know, was it Flooded Strand, where the flavor text is like where dragons once slept, their bones now slumber. If you had the enemy colored snaps coming out and it was like where dragons once, where their bones once blah, they now
fly,
Yeah.
or that kind of thing.
There's like
really cool.
a cool dragon being like, yeah,
We're back.
all of them.
Alrighty.
So
That was the cons block info dump.
yeah.
Did
That's exciting.
Did you have something over there, Paul? That you were.
I was just looking at if they are indeed doing some sort of J.J. Abrams Star Trek thing with Ugin and Bolus.
Like rebooting the whole thing.
Bolus was involved in Kamigawa, Alara, Zendikar, and Mirrodin, like directly.
Yeah.
Kind of a
So
dick.
it would be it would be definitely rewriting a large port, and of course M14.
That's
He
true.
was the actual dude.
He was the bad guy in M14.
Not that M14 had like a story.
No.
I feel that this won't I feel that we're not going to trade places and like have Ugin live and Bolus die because of this event. But maybe Bolus is injured and maybe it changes things subtly. I think what this long term is setting us up for is probably some kind of Eldrazi sort of cleanup crew because maybe
That was
they're
such a cool set.
that was I just really want to come back, and now we've got 2 out of 3.
Well, we'll get another colorless planeswalker. That'd be great.
I just want the action movie shot with the camera tracking backwards as all the planeswalkers walk down a hallway in slow motion. Coming in from the side.
And there's explosions. Kind of like a Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So reading all this lore, I realize that, right now, if you're thinking about what's going on in the Magic universe, you've got Bolus who's going around being a jerk, and you've got the Phyrexians who are, they're on Mirrodin now, but they are, if not ambitious.
They're fine. They're just doing their
Not
thing.
really.
Well, no, like the Phyrexians now have an inkling that there are other planes.
Exactly. Right?
That's bad.
And you have these Eldrazi.
Just wrecking Zendikar.
Well, they're not awake yet, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Oh, are
they
they're-
rose.
In Rise of the Eldrazi,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were unleashed.
And from what I understand in the flavor, they're now off the plane.
Ooh.
If we
Yeah,
could just...
like,
Also-
apparently Kozilek is still on Zendikar because he kind of likes it there now. But I heard that, or I read somewhere that Emrakul and Ulamog are back in like the
Blind Eternities?
yeah.
You know what we just do? We lure the Eldrazi to Mirrodin. Let those problems solve one another.
Yeah, like in Warhammer
Phyrexian's
40k.
friend.
Like in Warhammer 40k, where the Inquisition lured a Tyranid hive fleet into Orc space.
Yeah,
And we're
that-
like, that'll solve our problem for all time.
Yeah, that worked out real well.
What happened?
Well, both the Tyranids are a voracious hive organism that learns from its enemies and adapts and evolves very quickly. And the Orcs just become, the more you fight them, the stronger they become. So once they wipe each other out, whoever comes out of that fight is going to have
He's going to be
More fight.
a thing. Yeah. I don't want.
and might
I
be
don't
just,
want.
like immune to bullets or
do you
something.
do you want Emrakul dripping in Phyrexian oil? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, all right.
Like
fair
the
enough.
like Phyrexia will be like, ooh, neat. Take us with you. Also, you don't forget, Xenagos, no longer a god, not actually dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I feel like Xenagos is way down on my list of problems when it includes things like Phyrexia
well, sure,
and the
sure,
Eldrazi.
but still,
Well, like, isn't he? I kind of like that they created another villain for the series, so
like
it
that
wasn't
too.
just like, oh, what's Nicol Bolas up to now?
I mean,
like Xenagos or
them old Duke boys got themselves in a heap of trouble.
yeah, Xenagos feels a lot like Party Boy from Jackass.
Yeah, just like woo.
I'm just
Do
having
this.
this.
those old.
I'm just here to party. Whips
Well-
off his clothes.
I feel like I'm always up to see what those old Bolus boys are up to now.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Well, I'm just thinking of this great idea of Eldrazi with Infect.
That's not a great idea.
Oh, man.
Infectolator.
Yeah. It's
Excuse
like, I'm
me?
going to, sack everything, and then I have Infect.
Attack and you lose. All right, we're going to sign off there, I think.
With that terrifying thought.
Thanks so much for listening and watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
See ya.